Let's chat now with Peter Breen, who's Illinois State Rep, 48th District, who's just filed 6 bills. Initial bills focus on protecting individual rights, promoting small business, limiting abusive lawsuit threats, promoting open governments, and removing state mandates from non-home rule communities. Hey, Peter, welcome to the show. You've been busy, huh?
Man, yeah. I mean, we've had a little bit of work to do, yeah, and more coming.
Yeah. And more coming?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Tell me a little bit. When you say focus on, say, protecting individual rights, be a little more specific. Define that.
Sure. You know, what I'm trying to do as a new state rep, so I mean, I'm one of the 12 new Republicans who were elected this time through. You know, what we're trying to do is refocus the government on its core missions, one of which is to protect individual rights. So I've got a variety of bills. One of them would be an Eavesdropping Act amendment. I don't know if you remember, you know, they in a lame duck legislature at the end of last year, they made taping of a conversation to be a felony in the state. There was an amendment that was put on the act that
Right.
caused that to go back into effect. So I want to broaden that out so that folks that are undercover journalists or watchdog groups will be able to tape their conversations with public officials so that, you know, folks like my colleagues will not be able to get away with some of the unethical and illegal conduct that they've been able to get away with in the past. You've got other things like I've put forward a bill to legalize the commercial sale of unpasteurized milk, raw milk, which I don't know about you.
That's
but
interesting. I have no. Why did that's talk? It's interesting. Why?
Man, I'll tell you, many people have started to drink raw milk.
I'm not a milk guy, so I wouldn't know.
Apparently, in the pasteurization process, a lot of the enzymes are killed. So folks are using this, and it is. I mean, at least anecdotally, I'm getting a lot of feedback from my constituents that health problems are clearing up, things like that, or specific instances, are getting better, or just that they prefer the taste of raw milk to the regular stuff they're getting in the grocery store right now. And I said to myself, I mean, for heaven's sakes, for thousands of years, our ancestors drank raw milk and had no problem with it. I understand we had pasteurization, which once we understood germs and things like that, we needed to pasteurize our milk, and we were,
Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur.
Yeah.
Learned it in science. Yeah, Louis.
Right. Well, the problem is look, it's the 21st century. Some of the issues that required pasteurization in the past, we can deal with through good, clean food standards and things like that now. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to purchase this product in a commercial store instead of having to. Right now, you have to go to a farm or make some crazy arrangement to get the thing delivered to a central location where you go pick it up. I'd prefer you just be able to go to your corner market the same way you can in many other countries and purchase this product.
Very interesting. Let's talk a little bit more about the eavesdropping thing. So are you saying if I went to, do you need permission? Like if I went to say do an interview like with you, and I brought a tape recorder, and is it legal? Is it illegal? Are there rules you have to follow? How is it? And what would, and your bill would do exactly what? It would be like, in other words, just so I put you on the record, so if I taped you, I wouldn't be able to get thrown in jail? Is that it?
Right. You would need to get my permission first before doing any taping. And the problem is we are one of, let's do it in reverse. In 36 states, as long as you are a participant to the conversation, you can audio tape the conversation. The idea being that you will not tell someone something that they shouldn't hear, such that there's no problem with them audio recording. And, there have been no problems in these states, no appreciable problems. The other thing that opens up, though, is that the undercover journalist that wants to go in and investigate the bad business practices, they can go in and they can investigate, get it on the record, and then be able to to play it later, and very particularly bad elected officials or other government officials, you can record that interaction with them. So if they try to shake you down or to otherwise do something that was untoward as part of their interaction with you, then they've got a record of it. So that's the idea here, to be able to allow that with the current amendment or with the current state of the law in Illinois. That's a felony if you audio tape those interactions. So you're going to jail for a significant period of time if you audio tape any interaction, even if you're a part of that conversation.
Now, when you say significant amount of time, how long would you go to jail for?
Well, I mean, as a general rule, when it's a felony, you're going to jail for at least a year, if not more. So that's the thing, and there are higher penalties for multiple infractions, but it would be a felony as a base offense. So I'm also looking to reduce the criminal penalty. And I have to tell you, Geoff, I mean, I would prefer we just join the 36 states that are single-party consent, with the idea that there haven't been abuses in those states. If anything, there's been good government, and people have been on better behavior, understanding that they could be on tape.
Right.
But I know I can't get the law changed to that extent, so I'm at least.
This is Illinois, man. This is Illinois, baby. Hey, is it true? Like, I've been to a library since I've been 8. So, I mean, is it true that people are viewing porn? Do they have porn at libraries?
I hate to tell you this, but most of the libraries, yes, yeah, you
like. I mean, I don't know. Playboy's like a cartoon, like I mean, what kind of porn? I mean, all the men's magazine porn, or I mean,
well, no one, yeah. So so my issue is the public library computers. There are instances of libraries in our state and actually across the country where grown men are going into these libraries. They are spending hours at a time in front of computers. They are viewing hardcore pornography, including in some instances child pornography.
Oh God!
And now it doesn't take much imagination to understand what they're doing while they're sitting there. They're either
not drinking milk. I'll tell you that, unpasteurized. I'll tell you that.
Right? No.
They're making milk. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so think about this.
It's so sick.
Yeah, children are walking by. I mean, it's disgusting.
I'm not laughing. It's beyond. Why? So I see. So in other words, when you say porn in libraries, it's not so. So you're talking on the computer. In other words, you can go on the computer and throw up a porn. Okay. Can't they block that stuff or not?
It's perfectly legal.
Is that just a stupid? It's perfectly legal. What? Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing is, yes, the libraries could filter this out. Perfectly legal. It's constitutional. Okay. The problem is there are some very strong special interests in the library industry, and this is crazy, that they are against any sort of filtering on library computers. And so, I'm looking at this going, okay, it's one thing to say, censorship. Censorship means that you don't allow books that you don't like on a bookshelf. It's not about, preventing people from going into public libraries and in full view of people checking out hardcore porn and kiddie porn at the taxpayer's expense. That's the issue. On the other side, there are people that claim, well, we should have a right to go in the library, view porn, pleasure ourselves to that porn or whatever in full view of others. So common sense should be a no-brainer, but for whatever reason, we've had a real trouble getting this law passed in Illinois. I want to take a good hard crack at it, and I think it's the right time to do it.
It makes absolutely no sense. And
it's a waste of your taxpayer resources, and
that's true. But when I think of library, it just pops in my head. I think of kids studying. Now that's back in my day. Yeah. Okay, maybe I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm sure I don't know where the pendulum is. You didn't study. You would socialize and go to the library. My kids never went to the library. Now that I think about it, but I mean, they've got the internet at home and everything. But I don't know. It's beyond me. And then. That's illegal too. I mean, you can't be, in public, the cops can come and take you. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I could show you reports from this state where you've got people who have been doing this in their libraries, and either nothing's been done, or because the person leaves before the police are able to arrive, there are no arrests, and that the conduct just continues. But look, why do we have computers and internet in our public libraries? There's really two reasons I see. One is because you're there and you need to check something quickly and you can't get it on your cell phone or whatever. Right. The other is for poorer folks who don't have internet access to be able to access information about how to get a job or to do that sort of thing, or, legitimate educational opportunities, not to go and have a place to go view pornography. I mean, we call those adult bookstores. We don't call them libraries.
Right. You're absolutely right. I mean, well, listen, truth is stranger than fiction, okay? So, but there's a lot of maniacs out there and a lot of perverts and a lot of goofballs and, gosh, I'm afraid to go in the bushes, you know what I mean?
Think about it this way. You've got a grown man who's been viewing this stuff on the library computer, and they go to the restroom to do whatever they're going to do, and your kid who's at the library studying goes into that same restroom. I mean, do you really want that situation as a parent?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think of kids in libraries. Tell me, what's the Open Meetings Act that you've presented? What is that?
Well, right now, citizens have a right to tape. So you can put up a videotape and you can tape the contents of a public meeting. Some places, prior to that law being passed, they wouldn't, public bodies would not allow citizens to go in and just videotape the meeting. This should have been a no-brainer, but it needed the law from Springfield to require it. Well, I'm getting reports of folks that the public body literally is threatening people with arrest if they turn on the video camera prior to the gaveling in of the meeting, and if they don't turn off the video camera right after the meeting ends. And so I'm trying to add some sanity to these situations to say, look, you know what? If you're in this public government building, you're there to tape the meeting. You can tape before, you can tape after, because you might see some interesting stuff as to, why is Alderman so-and-so talking to Alderman so-and-so, and then, oh boy, look, there's the lobbyist for such and such. Kind of an interesting thing. So for me, it's something that adds a little bit of leeway to the act, again, causes people to be on their better behavior, and hopefully to prevent some of the shenanigans that go on in some of these meetings.
How are you enjoying politics? Are you enjoying it?
Well, it's a rough business, but I'll tell you. I mean, I'm a guy who I'm an attorney. I deal with constitutional law. I often represent government watchdogs. So when you see some of these individual freedom issues, I like being able to bring that experience into the political realm. And we'll see how this goes, but these should be the sorts of things where we're able to bring left and right together in some sense and be able to just promote freedoms for folks and make life better for people in Illinois, which, it's been way too long where we've been controlled by the special interests and all that and not controlled by the will of the people.
Hey, Peter, what do you think? What do you think of Rauners' budget proposal?
You know what? It is I know there's people nitpicking the heck out of it, but I haven't seen anyone give a good alternative. And it was honest in that he took the revenue numbers, so then the amount of tax money and all the various fee money and all of that coming in, and he spent it. So for folks to say, well, please don't cut this appropriation. Okay, so if you want to take a number and move it up, so you want more money being spent on Project X, you then, as a person asking for that, have to say, okay, well, Project Y, we should take that amount of money away from Project Y. So Rauner, at least, he's put the ball in play. He's given us a comprehensive budget to draw from. I'm excited about that. I'm like, okay, great. Let's now get to work, sharpen your pencils, and deal with it. And he did it on time. It's first. Normally these the prior governors, the last two governors, the budget hasn't been on time. It hasn't been truly balanced. So here we are. It's honest, and now we get to go. And the other side may want to try to raise taxes to fill in some of these holes, but at least now we've got a budget to start with, and we can look at that request.
Right, exactly. This is a good start. When people say criticize it, it's his first pass. Deals are going to have to be made, things have to get done, compromises are going to have to be made, and that's fine. But finally, I think you got a governor who said what he needed to say. Hey, we can't be spending any more than we're bringing in, like it's been the way the last, 10, 12 years. All right, Peter, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for what you're doing for us. Sounds like great stuff.
Hey, thanks, Geoff. Good to talk.
All right, buddy. Peter Breen, Illinois State Rep of the 48th District.